It's the government. They cheat, they steal, they don't play by the rules, and I've had enough. And so I would like this thing worked out. I don't care about the volatility. I don't care if Trump ratchets it up 25% a day.
What do you mean? Wait, Kevin. What do you mean you don't care about volatility if volatility has a direct impact on us as consumers?
Because we have to fix this problem once and for all. It's killing us. It's killing small business in America. It's killing large businesses. All the IP these guys steal. You go back and look at all of their technological advancements, and this is a personal estimation. You're going to find source code from American companies back 4 decades ago. These guys don't play by the rules. And administration after administration, whether it be European or American, have not dealt with this. It's enough. We've got to solve this problem. Okay. Now, if we have to squeeze Chinese heads to the wall, as I said yesterday when I was testifying, so be it. I'm willing to live with the volatility to get the long situation settled. I want to compete in China. I want to open up those markets.
If what you're saying is carried out to its ultimate solution, you're talking about the fact that China, the regime, has a system in place that is able to manipulate the world, its currency, and everything else because of its totalitarian nature. Now, we can talk about what happened in 48. We can talk about what happened with Taiwan. We can talk about everything else. But Kevin, it's a reality. The Cultural Revolution in China killed millions of people so that people would remember that they had to remain silent. What you're saying is, I've had enough with China,
but you're good with it?
No,
you're okay with it?
No. On the contrary, but what I'm asking you is, what is the solution to dealing with China, a system that systematically violates human rights?
Here's how
and
it
that
works.
is able to use.
Well, you asked me, I'm going to tell you. You got Xi.
Okay.
He's the supreme leader for life. What keeps him in power?
Yes.
Keeping his people employed and fed. Now, when you shut down a factory, I think Janice Mackey-Frere just on before me, he's talked about this. When you shut down a factory, you put thousands, if not tens of thousands of people unemployed in China. They take burning torches, just like in a Frankenstein movie, up to the castle, and that's a bad outcome for the supreme leader. He knows that. Now, what's the largest consumer market on earth? The United States. Almost 40% of all goods consumed worldwide. What's the largest GDP? 25 or 26% GDP of the world? The United States of America. China needs the United States of America. We have the upper hand right now. We have the cards. Now's the time to settle this because we may not be the largest economy forever, but right now we can squeeze Chinese, and I'm talking about the government, not the people, to comply with the laws and get a level playing field between China and the United States of America. If it takes a little volatility, a little indigestion, a little acid reflux, I don't care.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, speaking the truth out there. Oh, I'm fuzzy tonight. Sorry about that, guys. My camera's having issues with the green screen. Oh, well. It is what it is. Welcome to the Ace Report. Whew, guys, I've missed you. Members Live last night was awesome, but, I missed other people who aren't members. Listen, it's been wild the last couple days. Holy smokes. Things are crazy, and we're going to go over some stuff tonight that is some of the wildest things I've ever seen in our markets and where we're headed. And it is... if we weren't ready for it, I'd say it was scary, but it's definitely looking like I don't know how this gets fixed. I don't know because everything is wonky right now and not in the ways the market wants to see. It's getting crazy. Futures way down after all those gains lost today, after Trump's pump yesterday. It's getting wild. We're crushing China, which is a good thing, but the pain, my friends, it's starting to come. That pain's coming. We're going to have to go through it and then much better times on the other side. And I got a whole slew of other news to go through tonight because today was packed with news. So we're going to cover a bunch. But first, I got to say hey to some of the beautiful people who show up to say hey to me every night. So Big B, numero uno tonight, Wago Waco, good to see you. US 1 Tahoe, Roll Tide, Steve Bernard, Doug Peterson, Gary Douche, Cass Sink, Hobbs, Toe Cramp, Chad Yunkin, Hero, Barefoot, Kentaro, Pat Shigoya, Darren Collins, Patrice, Donald Bolio, Marco Sanchez back from Thailand. Welcome back, sir. So now what? What you hearing? Tell us the story. Brian T, Candace, you're back. We've missed you, friend. Dar Daddy, Randy, Linda Talley, MM, Gary Medill, Kissoff, Michael Anthony, Ketsink, Yoker, MRTKO's Technology, Spastic Technology, Dave R. Butters, Scarpaja, Dubois, Mad Max. Good to see you guys. Drew Staval, a couple others coming in late. Country Computers, what's up, my friend? Love you guys. So good to see you all. Oh, we got so much to go through. Michael says the pain's already here. Oh, it's really barely started. It's barely started. Okay, let me see. I had a couple things. I'm actually going to change how I was going to start tonight because I want to jump into this part first. Give me a second here, guys. All right, here we go. All right, so, Mad Max with the $10 super chat. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that very much so. He says Trump should get Mr. Wonderful to be our ambassador to China. Oh, that would be spicy, wouldn't it? I'd take it. Make it an episode of Shark Tank too. Brett Montgomery reminds everybody, please like, share, subscribe. And hey, if you like it, if you like everything, why don't you join? Why not? $3 a month gets you members' lives and Discord access. Hero follows it up with another $10 super chat. Says Thomas is medicated. He says he's feeling real good. Well, Thomas, I'm glad you're feeling good, buddy. Even if it is from the meds. Thank you, Hero. Thank you, Mad Max. All right, let's go over here. All right, guys, the U.S. dollar is collapsing. This is crazy. We haven't hit this level since May of 2023. Do you guys remember what was going on then? That was when we just gone through the major banking crisis. And that was the last time we went through this. And then they inflated the banks, got us back on track for a little bit. But holy smokes, this is not a good sign. This is not a good sign for our markets. Now, ultimately, other things could happen, but it's getting wild. In bonds right now, China, it's believed, China and Japan are selling off our treasuries at the moment to stabilize themselves. Japan, especially for stabilization. China might be doing it just to hurt us. That's causing bond rates to soar. And if we don't fix that, if the bond rates start getting close to 5, watch out. It's going to get, we think the market has been ugly so far. Just wait. It really might be that Trump broke something. And guess what? I think he did it on purpose. We've been saying this for a while. If you've been watching this channel, this economy is so fake that it's better if Trump pushes it off the cliff early, because more of the blame will get passed to Biden. Plus, he'll have more time to fix it before the midterms. And my friends, it's looking more and more like that happened. I did see this interesting post today. I wanted to share on this. It says, we are at the end of a credit super cycle that began in 1913 with the founding of the Federal Reserve, which accelerated after the gold backing was removed from the US dollar in 1971. Massive imbalances have built up and chaos is going to be unavoidable. We're entering the death spiral part of the process now, where the world's fiat currency start to implode on US and its global. Gold and silver are your lifeboat. Now, I can't give you financial advice, can't tell you what to do. Gold and silver are always valuable. That's why you buy them, because they could always be worth something. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what this is going to look like. Something crazy announcement could come out tomorrow, could spike markets for another few weeks. Speaking of that, the House passed the reconciliation process bill today to get that moving. So tax cuts, if they're announced, which they probably won't get that bill officially done until May, but now we're well on our way to getting it done. So that'll pump the market, but will it be fast enough? That's the question. We got other interesting news today as the dollar goes down, as oil goes down. Inflation dropped today, lower than expected, quite a bit actually. CPI below 3%, lowest since March 2021. That's right before the inflation really took off. So this is great for Main Street. Great for Main Street, but Wall Street is getting crushed. Wall Street's getting crushed. This should have been very bullish, and yet the Dow finished down 1,000 points today. It's just, and here is where it gets really interesting. The yen is getting stronger, and it's making the USD compared to the yen go down. So our dollar value compared to the yen is going down. Well, we have that massive carry trade with Japan. And if it's forced to unwind because this gets the yen's getting more valuable, it's going to cause massive destabilization. If you remember last August, the yen started doing this, and then we had a bloody Monday where 1,000 points down Dow, 1,000 points down NASDAQ. It was because of this. And then Japan pumped a bunch of money out, lowered the price of the yen again, the dollar spiked up, and we averted disaster. But it's always been on the verge of coming. People estimate between $7 and $25 trillion are in this carry trade. The carry trade is where they bought a bunch of yen because it's cheaper and use that to purchase stocks, and then later they sell it back to them and make a profit. If it goes up, they lose money. So this is going to cause a scramble to unwind this, which means massive sell-off. And if this continues, 145 was the danger zone number. We're now at 142. So tomorrow could get absolutely crazy. And you can see right here, it is just plummeting. And that is something to definitely watch out for. Just Dario says, once the Japan yen carry trade unwinding cools off, the reason why the USD is dumping since they need to sell it to buy back, Japan repay the loans. Europe, Japan, and Great Britain will sharply lose value against the USD because Europe, Japan, UK are in far worse shape than US. So there you go. It's going to unwind all the global markets. This is scary stuff. We are starting, it's one thing when you talk about it. It's another thing when it starts to happen. And it looks like we're finally starting to head into this, which is going to get pretty crazy. Eric asks, do I have any financial advice for you? No, good sir. No. Besides, I think everything I've ever told you is just lost money. So Drew asks, does the tax bill have no tax under 150K? I don't believe that's going to be in this tax bill. I think this tax bill is just going to keep things the same as they've been, which, it's still, we still pay the lowest taxes we've paid in several decades. So that's good. But yes, hopefully eventually we get to that point. Cooper says, all strategy, Trump's playing 5D chess. I believe very much in Trump's ability to play deals, make these kind of things happen I think he's way ahead of everybody else. I totally agree with you. But we need to be praying, because what they're dealing with now is a very volatile, scary situation where the smallest wrong move can just ruin everything. So they are playing they have to bat perfect right now. They have to bat 1,000 going through all this. And that's going to be tough to do. But so far, I think Trump's doing very well, even though a lot of people are mad about it. But I'm telling you, it's getting scary out there. And what's going to happen is it's going to be the difference between the market crashing and Main Street doing pretty fine through it versus markets crashing and the economy crashing. So that's what we don't want. We don't want the economy to fully go into depression. That's just too much pain. We don't want to see that for people. We just don't. But if we can win this trade war with China, that's going to significantly help things. And so we just need to hope that China doesn't just put its heels in and say, screw you guys. We'll just go up with we'll go down with the ship. And that could be very bad. But As of right now, I feel pretty good about it. Here's Scott Bessent telling the rest of the world, don't go in with China. I love this right here.
In terms of escalation, unfortunately, the biggest offender in the global trading system is China, and they're the only country who's escalated. And I can tell the rest of the world that I'm not sure whether it was the prime minister or the economic minister in Spain made some comments this morning. Oh, well, maybe we should align ourselves more with China. That would be cutting your own throat, because I can tell you that these Chinese exports that the U.S. tariff wall is going to keep out, that China, for all of you who can remember that Disney movie of the brooms carrying the buckets of water, that is a Chinese business model. It never stops. They just keep producing and producing and dumping, and it's going somewhere. And I think, Rob, at the end of the day, that we can probably reach a deal with our allies, with the other countries that have been long-term. They've been good military allies, not perfect economic allies, and then we can approach China as a group.
So the message there is don't join China. You're cutting your own throat. Let's all do this together, and so we can beat them. And as I showed in that opening, Kevin O'Leary just laid it out. China is awful. They've just been crushing us for years. He's like tariff them to the gills. I mean, he proposed a 400% 400% tariff. I mean, we have to win this. I mean, here's Josh Hawley talking about what's going on with China, and he lays it out really well.
This is startling as a tacit admission on their part.
Yeah, it's outrageous. It's also something we've known for a long time. I mean, the truth is the Biden administration knew very well that China was behind these cyber attacks. There's the Salt Typhoon attack, which is China getting into our digital infrastructure, getting into our communications grid. They're still there, by the way, Laura. What did the Biden administration do about it? Nothing. I mean, this is the problem. For years, China has been eating our lunch, stealing our jobs, taking our industries, taking our technology, cheating on trade. Joe Biden didn't do a thing. He couldn't be woken up to do anything about it. And now Donald Trump is getting serious. He's actually protecting this country, protecting our jobs, bringing back industry. That's what we need him to do. And the liberals are going crazy and they're going nuts because they know he's right. They don't have any answer for it. They know he's right. They know this is what needs to happen, and the president's on top of it.
They know it's what it needs to happen, but they're also terrified because a lot of them got side deals with China. They're making those deals behind the back. Think about it. Going all the way back to the Clintons, Hillary selling military secrets to China, Hillary and Bill back in the 90s. So long time Democrats like China. They like China very much, make good money from China, like Joe Biden. Sorry, a little racist there. I don't care. It was funny. They've been robbing us blind. So I keep hearing a lot of people say, like, we can't do this, leave it alone. We'll be fine. We got to have a good relationship with them so they could get. No, they've been robbing us blind forever. It has to stop. And so we need people like Hawley out here continuing to push the president to say, don't let up. I don't believe Trump will. But again, I love Trump. I think he's amazing. I think he's brilliant. I think he is ahead of so many people on this, but he's a fallible man too, just like the rest of us. And so we need to pray he holds tight on this and we break China. We really do. We have 5 times, I believe. I think it's 5 times. It's probably much more actually. That's what we buy from them versus what they buy from us. It will crush them. It will crush them. So, and this is a kind of thing that gives me a lot of hope with Trump. We have guys like Chamath, who used to be a hardcore liberal Democratic donor, worked in, he's in the tech sector, and now he's all in on Trump. And this is one of the reasons why. And this is the kind of thing that just gives me a lot of confidence when other people like this guy can see it.
When the history books are written, I think we will look back at the period of the Biden administration And I think there will be two unequivocal observations. One was that he was in mental decline and he was not really running the country. And the second is that in partnership with Janet Yellen, they pushed America to the brink of financial collapse. And the details of that, Laura, are very clear. The amount of debt that they created and issued, the amount of short-term obligations that they created for the US Treasury are frankly unconscionable. The reality is that for the last 40 years, whether they want to admit it or not, Donald Trump has been right. When we admitted China
Boom.
into the WTO
Last 40
in
years,
2000,
Trump has been right.
we thought we were getting the best of it, but we didn't. We did a very bad deal, and they won overwhelmingly. Then, 20 years later, right at the beginning of COVID, we realized yet again how fragile the United States was, how incapable we were of resiliently protecting ourselves and taking care of our own interests. And so at the end of the day, the most important thing that we need to remember is there are 4 areas that matter. Everything else is debatable, but the 4 that are undebatable. Number 1 is AI. Number 2 is energy. Number 3 are batteries and rare earths. And number 4 is pharmaceuticals. And the reason is...
Boom. So Trump, 40 years of conviction, has been calling us out, saying tariffs. And that gives me a lot of hope that he's been doing his homework for that long. And when you do that for this long and you have people around you agree with you, Lutnick has been a friend of Trump's this whole time. He's been planning this. Bissett knows he put the best people in charge. And this is why I truly believe that even though there's a lot of people out there, a lot of economists, a lot of prognosticators, a lot of Wall Street people freaking out about what's going on, saying Trump doesn't know what he's doing, I couldn't disagree more. I truly believe he's got it all figured out, and they have a plan they're going to follow to the T because they know this is the only shot. If they don't do it, no one's going to do it. We are at the brink. We're at the brink, and it's scary. It's really scary when you think about all China's been doing to infiltrate us, take over trade with the world. They have students everywhere. I mean, what their plan was break America economically and then take us over politically. That's what they were going to do because they can't match us bullet for bullet. They just can't. Our technology is far too advanced still militarily. We own them. With the going over the seas and stuff, they can't take us. But China is in desperate need right now. They don't have the natural resources they need to take care of their population. They're a mess. They're an absolute mess, and so they need us. They need to take us down a peg at the very least. They need to take us down. At the best, they take us over, which you can argue in some ways maybe they have in some areas, but obviously not enough for us to get Trump through. And then this is another kind of thing that just gives me hope. When Trump just drops bombs like he did today, this came out of nowhere, but it makes you stop and think when you hear it.
And we're very powerful. This country is very powerful. Let me tell you, it's far more powerful than people understand. We have weaponry that nobody has any idea what it is, and it is the most powerful weapons in the world that we have. More powerful than anybody, not even close. So nobody's going to do that. But I think that if that's what you're referring to,
maybe play that one more time.
And we're very powerful. This country is very powerful. Let me tell you, it's far more powerful than people understand.
It's far more powerful than people understand. What does Trump know that we don't? He was talking about weapons there, which makes you think military, and I believe it probably is military. I also think he knows we're stronger economically, and there's something just I don't know what it is. Maybe we have way more gold than we think. Who knows? But there's something about the way he said that makes me think Trump is not worried about any of this. Does he look worried to you? He doesn't look worried to me. I mean, this man looks as confident as ever and rested and relaxed as ever. If he knows something, it'd be hilarious to just have everybody freaking out all this time and him letting us get to the edge over and over again, economically, stock market, all this stuff. And then just boom, drops an economic bombshell, or him talking right there, he's talking about invasion, and we don't have to worry. I mean, him talking about having weapons far more powerful than anybody else. Well, you got to believe the other countries' governments probably know about some of it too. It's holding them at bay. So anyways, this is the kind of stuff that gives me hope, guys. It gives me hope and just makes me believe that, no matter how crazy it looks, we have really smart people come on this chat. Some of them I kind of consider friends, and and they're not as bullish on stuff as me, or don't trust Trump as much as me. I have friends in my life like that. I know people. There's obviously people on X, but they see all that's going on and they read the data, and they're very smart, and they see this and they understand all that. But the one thing none of these people ever take into account is, what do we not know? And it's a humbling thing to realize you don't know everything. It's a humbling thing to realize that there's so much out there we don't know. This is part of why the conspiracy stuff is so big. People are always trying to figure out everything. And I get it. I'm one of those people. I love to just understand. But I also realize and recognize that behind those closed doors in our government, there are secrets we don't know, that they've kept classified for good reasons. And our power, our strength is one of those things. It's amazing to me. It's not just the Constitution, although it has a big part to play in it. It's amazing to me that after all we went through the last several decades, we still just never fell apart. I mean, they could have taken us out so easy. If you think about it, in other countries, think of how other countries have fallen. Think how far, like the UK has fallen now. There's no free speech there anymore, and it's completely, like, it's basically Sharia law in London now. It's insane, and they don't have free speech. They can't own arms. It's crazy. The freaking prime minister is out there going after ninja swords. That's not even a joke. He tweeted it the other day. It's insane over there. That could have been us. And what kept us going? It's our strength. It's our people, which I believe are our greatest strength always. It's the Constitution, which is a big deal, but it's also the things we don't know. And I do believe in the next 4 years, we're going to look back and say, oh my God, there's so much. It's like the world looks completely different to us now. Because not only is our country better and on the right track and not where it was, but it's also like, wow, we have just been exposed to so many things like we maybe never thought would have been real before. So I definitely think that's all a possibility. Travis says the weapons to defeat the aliens. I love it. Jay Valdez, this is really good content here. Thank you, Valdez. I appreciate that. Will you guys please like and subscribe if you think if the content is worth it for you? I appreciate that. So now it says we need to make Christianity official religion in America, put an end to Islamic invasion. Listen, I think, part of me would love that. Absolutely. But, it's tough. There's no way to justify that in the Constitution. And, and I think we can live safely with other religions here, but it's Christians' job to be the most appealing. Christianity just took a dip. The last few years it's been going down. It just made a correction, and the last 2 years it's been heading back up again in America. So things are going. I think we're turning around. We'll be all right. But the Sharia law stuff is crazy, like in Texas, that little town they're talking about. Candace says, I think Trump knows more about the drones he's told us. Oh, I'm sure he does. Yeah. Big JR says, if I had to guess, I'd say there are weapons that could win a war with anyone in short order with zero boots on the ground, no nuclear fallout. Well, yeah, I think you're 100% right on that. Moody says, why would Trump want Canada to be the 51st state, if so infiltrated by China? Great question, Moody. The resources would be incredible. The combination of our population and what we have natural resource wise in the US, and you couple that with all your guys' land up there, it'd be unstoppable. We'd be the most resource rich country in the world, and it wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be close. So that's number one. Number two, I think for the most part, your population would fit right in and be like setting you guys free. Now, I don't really want you guys to be a state because that's more electoral votes for the liberals, honestly, unless we broke you up in like 5 or 6 states, which would make the most sense. But yeah, I think that's why. I think it just makes sense from our perspective that if everything's united here in North America, well, we can do without Mexico. That's too big a problem to clean up. But us in Canada, because we already have Alaska, so you guys are sandwiched between us. I think it would make a lot of sense in those areas. Automax says teletransportation, entanglement, quantum physics. It's all there. Just think computers are just 60 years, one lifetime. Imagine 4 or 5 generations. 100%. Oh, it's insane. Yeah. Dubois says the government's approximately 75 years ahead of us from Americans. Now that would be crazy. That would be crazy. Hero says, this is the ACE report. We don't know everything. I'm trying my best here. Well, that's an interesting thing from Puppy there. Imagine the maple syrup supply. There you go. That'd be great. Pulling in Canada is like bringing in NYC. There'd be a lot. There'd be a lot to work for. Canada assimilation would be the biggest liberal ever for sure. And Greenland. Oh, Vinman. I think we're going to get Greenland. I really do. I think it's just a matter of time, but we're going to get it. Okay. Some other crazy stuff. I'm going to kind of popcorn some subjects here because there is, it's just been kind of an amazing day for news. So let me popcorn a couple things here. This, well, I'll just let Tulsi Gabbard tell you what's going on. This is a big, remember, she's director of national intelligence. So this means something real is coming down the pike on this.
The very dangerous and negative consequences of that. I've got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our elections. You
guys hear that? She's finding the evidence of voter fraud from the machines. This is huge. This is huge because right now, in fact, even today, the Republicans passed the SAVE Act for voting, which is requiring voter ID basically everywhere. I think paper ballots are included in that too. So we passed it in the House. There's no way in hell this is passing the Senate with the filibuster. It just cannot pass. 60 votes, no way we're pulling 7 Dems over. It just won't happen. We can maybe get 2. I could see Fetterman doing it, maybe somebody else. But it's just not going to happen unless if we get Tulsi and she unveils all this evidence of fraud and it's everywhere. It just spreads in the media. People are outraged. They're freaking out. They're just able to prove it. Well, now that this is passed in the House, officially, the Senate, I think, has a year to vote on it. So it can be brought into the Senate and boom. I mean, then there you go. It's just done. But we need that. We need it to be exposed. If it's completely exposed, that's the thing that could change Democrats because they will be so terrified of losing in the midterms by not voting this. We need to make this a huge issue. If it becomes a huge issue, then we can actually get some of the Democrats to do it. So now I'm being censored by YouTube. What happened? Did I cut out? I hope I didn't cut out. Anyways, but this is great news too. So SAVE Act passing, that's one step closer. Again, it's not going to pass the Senate. every Republican will vote for this, but we won't get the Democrats. And so unless the Republicans finally find their balls, which is probably not going to happen, and actually eliminate the filibuster. Not the real filibuster, which is where you can stand up and talk. I mean, that's timeless tradition. But the filibuster rule, which is where you have to vote and break 60, even if nobody's talking. They just automatically have to get 60 votes. It's the stupidest rule in the Senate. I know that sometimes the filibuster saved us. I get it. I do. But it's also held things up so that we can't progress. And it'd be similar to executive orders in a way, where executive orders can be undone by the next president. Well, if there was this stupid filibuster rule wasn't there, then the laws could change more quickly. That's the way the founders envisioned it. You vote in people, you win a majority, and you get new laws. Oh, imagine that. It's amazing. But we don't get new laws because we have this stupid filibuster rule in the Senate. We don't have it in the House. The House just passes stuff. Imagine if the Senate could just pass stuff and the president could sign. That's what the separation of powers are for. House passes, Senate passes, president signs or vetoes. And then if he vetoes, it goes back and you have to get way more votes. That's how it should work. We shouldn't have this filibuster rule. It's nonsensical. It makes no sense. There's no reason to have it, except for the minority party. They both love it. They both love it because it means things never change. And our politicians are more scared of big change, sweeping change, than anything else, because they just want to keep getting elected. And so there you go. Anyways, anyways, it's just frustrating. It's good news, but it's frustrating. On the other hand, we did pass the budget plan, so that's great. This is going to be passed by reconciliation, which means 51 votes in the Senate. So should be done by May, which means permanent tax cuts. This also has in it the no tax on tips, the full funding for the border. It's got no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime, and there's quite a few other things in this bill. But they're going to pass it all, like Trump said, one big beautiful bill, and it's all working out now. So they will get this done because they have another stupid rule where just in this one thing every year, of course it's about the money, this one thing every year they can pass by simple majority vote. It's insane. It's insane, I tell you. Ryan writes, the real fraud in the market, trillions to be exact. Trump worrying about millions, a few billion here and there. Markets were the big fraud. Ryan, I listen. You're right and wrong, because you're absolutely right about the market. You're wrong about the focus. It can be both. And I'm sorry, a few $100 billion there and a billion is a lot of money. Every bit of it counts. And so let's knock it all out. Let's let Doge do its work. We have a new SEC chair in. That can start being done. Trump is unwinding the market with these moves. So that is going to break. But that's inevitable. That weight is too big a weight to carry. It'll just break on its own as soon as things are enforced. But the government has to be investigated because the government it's allowed to be cut off from all of us. We're not involved in the government spending. People can't do anything there. Even in the market where it's manipulated, at least you can sell, you can get out, move to another thing. You can make money. Lots of people do make money in the manipulated markets. The government's far more important because if the government falls out of this, we collapse as a country. With this spending, with the default, that means depression. It gets really bad. And we want it to work. We want our government to be efficient. We want it to work for the people so it can protect free markets and let the economy thrive and us all thrive. So that's what we want. That's what we want. Income tax. No, they're not cutting income tax in this one. It's just going to be the same rates as it is now. If he wants to cut income tax, that's going to be a big thing they're going to have to go after. And they can go after it next year, though, because this year the fight is get the tax cuts permanent, because next year If they don't pass this next year, all of our taxes go up big time. All of us. And I don't care if they say it's just for billionaires and millionaires. They're stupid. They're lying to you. It goes up for all of us. This is the big thing. Get it done. Make them permanent so there's never a ticking clock on these tax cuts again. Next year, the year after, they can go for the income tax. Besides, it's better if they do it next year anyways because it's closer to the midterms. It'll be a huge winner. Huge winner. Jim Boswell says, in my opinion, a lot will happen by the end of the summer with Bondi, Catch, and Tulsi shock the libs. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I completely agree. Vinman says, I think when I share your vids to X, it hurts you. On X, I'll make great comments all day, and I'll get 2 to 3 people follow me and 1 to 3 likes. X told me they think I'm a bot. Are you serious? Well, don't share me then, Vin. I do appreciate you trying, though. Thomas says California accounts for over 52% of America's myclobutanol usage for the wine industry. Okay. Interesting. I don't know anything about that. Sorry. Murkowski doesn't like it. We only need 51 to pass it, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. Moody says, I still say Booker must have been wearing a diaper. He didn't take a bathroom break in 25 hours. Oh, you know he did. He came ready. And we all know he does a bathroom. Does a big, beautiful bill include 15% corporate tax rate? No, it does not. I think it only takes it down to, I think it does take it down to 20 from 21. So it still goes down another percent. Remember, guys, before Trump passed this in 17, the original corporate tax rate was what, 35? Was it? It was 30 or 35, I think. It was something crazy. And so it's already been a significant cut down to 21. And I think it was 35 to 21. And now you're trying to get it to 20 and then eventually 15. So anyways, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, Brett. You're doing the God's work down there. Okay. A couple other quick things here. Josh Hawley, after what we watched yesterday with the Facebook testimonies, he is calling Zuckerberg to Capitol Hill. So this should get really interesting. Whoops. So I'm excited to see how this plays out. Yeah, it was 35%. Thank you, Max. That's what I thought. And then speaking of what's going to come out by the end of the summer, this one's going to be a doozy. This got dropped today, Trump's cabinet meeting, and then it was affirmed in this video. Check out what RFK is up to. And, well, I'll just let him tell you.
I'm sorry, there was a thought that vaccines might be related to this. Then they did several studies that said that there was no connection between vaccines and autism. So what are you seeing in this data that you're looking at, or is it all going to be brand new?
The studies that they did were very, very narrow, and there were about 17 studies. The Institute of Medicine, which is part of the National Academy of Sciences, says that 14 of those studies are invalid. And the biggest weakness in those studies is they never studied vaccinated versus unvaccinated group, which is the only way that you can really make this determination. And more importantly, none of the vaccines that are given to children during the first 6 months of life were ever studied. We're going to look at vaccines, but we're going to look at everything. Everything is on the table. Our food system, our water, our air, different ways of parenting, all the kind of changes that may have triggered this epidemic. It is an epidemic. Epidemics are not caused by genes. Genes can provide a vulnerability, but you need an environmental toxin. So we know that it is an environmental toxin that is causing this cataclysm. And we are going to identify it. We are narrowly focused on identifying it and using as many scientists as we can from universities and research centers all over the world, focus them through NIH, through Jay Bhattacharya, to focus them on answering this question.
Boom, baby. This study they've launched, this massive study just on target of autism, he says is going to be released in September. So speaking of end of the summer, we're going to get some big news. And think about this. This is one of those areas that if you even bring it up to a lot of people, they just look at you like you're stupid. They assume it's status quo. And if he finds something, if they're able to link this, oh my God, it's going to get wild. So guys, this is still year one of the Trump administration. We're still in quarter one of the Trump administration. He hits 3 months on Easter. Now that's kind of fortuitous. Easter is April 20th this year. He came in on January 20th. So I mean, this is incredible, all we're seeing, and it's just going to keep happening. It's unbelievable. Moody says, Amish don't have autism. You're absolutely right. Mike says, best thing you can do in a hurricane is get vaccinated. I love it. Matt Max, RFK is a savage. Look for Dems and MSM to try to cook up any kind of scandal to stop. I know. Well, and that, that bugs me. Candace Owens is still out there saying there's some scandal behind the scenes that makes him owned. I think it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't know what's happening with her right now. It's driving me nuts. What's up, ESK in the house? Please like and subscribe, guys. And speaking of Candace, this is a perfect time to bring up this post. I got to share this because I've been talking about this stuff a lot lately. This is, oops, wrong button. Here we go. All right. We've been talking a lot, and this is actually really relevant today because on Joe Rogan's podcast today, he released it with Dave Smith and Douglas Murray just debating the snot out of American foreign policy the last few years. And of course, Israel came up. And so there's, and I've been hitting this so much lately, this whole, you don't go full, Jews are behind everything, and you never go full, Jews are perfect. It's right in the middle is the truth. And there's just this huge push right now on the right to, that the Jews are behind everything. It's like the conspiracy right, that it's coming from people like Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, Jake Shields, just a bunch of people that I mean, honestly, in many ways, I respect Candace Owens. She's done great work in a lot of areas. Ian Carroll too. The other two, I think, are total trash. But this is a really good post on this. And here, what's really behind the Jews narrative, part one. Let's cut through the noise. In 2023, a coordinated information operation was launched on X with a singular directive: derail legitimate criticism and exposure of what the intelligence agencies, namely Mossad, Unit 8200, and the IDF have done to Palestinians and Americans. This includes historic and strategic deceptions like USS Liberty, 9/11 intelligence influence operations on U.S. soil. As organic fact-based investigations began gaining traction, absent overt racial or religious hostility, a counter operation was deployed. Enter digital assets, influencers with large followings like Candace Owens, Jake Shields, Dan Bilzerian, Nick Fuentes, and others, suddenly amplifying same facts in lockstep, but laced with inflammatory, deliberately provocative language. Why? Where were these influencers the last few months, years? Why they all appear on the chessboard? Same messaging, a small window time frame. Mossad would deploy extreme pro-Israel accounts to feed the talking points these It's the Jews assets needed. Anyways, it's long. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's really worth a read. But the point is, guys, this thing is one of those that's going to end badly if you go down that road. It's meant to distract from the truth. It's meant to distract from what's really going on. Again, you just never go full to one side or the other on almost anything. You just don't do it. You don't go that crazy. Conspiracies, many of them are true. Obviously, we've learned that over the last few years. We're learning more and more. But it's like CIA and JFK. Do I believe at this point the CIA killed JFK? 100%. I think it's kind of ridiculous to think they weren't a big part behind it with all we've seen. I don't see how you can see the evidence and not believe that. But do I then translate it to the CIA is behind everything? No, you can't do that. What's happening is there are bigger people behind the scenes that don't get talked about in the shadows. And they're the ones influencing a lot of these decisions, from CIA, Mossad, you name it, you go down the list, and MI6. So this is the kind of stuff that's it's really important to realize. A lot of our enemies, the biggest enemies, the worst ones, are hidden. And much of what we see is a psyop. And it's a psyop. And this is a good way to learn. It's a psyop when you start seeing things get really, really pushed out there, inflammatory, really angry, and it's just popping up. This account, they start saying a lot of the similar stuff. When that starts ramping up, it's a psyop. It's just like what happened with BLM in 2020. It's the same thing. And this time they're trying to destroy MAGA from within. We can't let them. We can't let them. And it's one of my goals. And one of the reasons I do this channel is to feed the correct information to keep us grounded while also telling you guys what's real, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that a lot of places won't talk about. And by no means do I dismiss most conspiracy stuff, because I know a lot of it's real. But this stuff's crazy. And, I think if there was real meat to it, I think Alex Jones would be on it and other people like that. But it's just not, like, we just can't go there. They're trying to destroy us from within. And I want nothing more than these next 4 years, next 8 years, 12 years, we get Vance in, that we advance this MAGA agenda that's just so good for Americans in general, the middle Americans, the Main Street Americans, to get our country back, people with traditional values as well, traditional values, traditional work ethic. That's who needs to succeed in America. And Trump is the only one who's going to get us there. He already saved us from this globalist plan, and now he needs to rebuild. And it's a very tough job. And he can only do it if the American people continue to support him. We can't fall for this nonsense stuff that's just a distraction. It really is. Rumdog says, Tulsi, Pam, and Cash need to bring out the corruption of the Dem senators. Well, speaking of that, I don't have it pulled up tonight because I wasn't going to cover it, but you brought up, there was the first Democrat politician, not on Washington. She was a state senator or state rep, got busted today. And they busted her on all, like, 4 counts of wire fraud or something like that. So it is starting to happen. It is starting to happen. Vin Band says, if I'm critical of Israel, there's no freaking way I'll support PLO scum. Absolutely agree with that. Uncle Andy says the Levon affair and Sargent's affair need to get more publicity. I need to look into those more. I think I know what you're talking about, but Matt Mo says, clearly I'm Mossad. There you go. That's who I'm talking about, guys. Unless he's joking. That's hilarious. If I'm Mossad, I'm definitely not getting paid well enough. They need to do a better job of paying me. No, absolutely. Because on this, you're definitely not seeing on this side. I'm definitely not part of the Israel's perfect either. A lot of what they're doing in Gaza is unacceptable. And it needs to be criticized. And they've done terrible things over the years. They have. And they've been excused by even people in my circles, like Christians, that are just, you just can't excuse some of the atrocities going on, even if it is Israel. But you're joking. Okay, thanks, Matt Mo. I thought you were. It's been a while since you posted, so I couldn't remember if you were one of the good ones. Oh, speaking of Alex, he had, oh man, if you guys didn't listen to this, what are you doing? I'm sorry, but this is better than anything I'm going to do for you guys. Alex Jones was on Tucker, and they had a fantastic conversation. And anyways, for the market's sake, for what we're dealing with off and on, well, not off and on, every day, market corruption, listen to what Alex dropped on the show.
Brazil. So those are the different strategies. They're also doing big put options and naked shorts, trying to crash the market and then blaming Trump's tariffs on that. So it's economic terrorism, the buildup of domestic terrorism. So those are the different strategies. They're also doing big put options and naked shorts, trying to crash the market.
Naked shorts trying to crash the market. Alex knows. I wish he'd gone into more detail on it. He just threw it out there and they were talking about other stuff. But this still was heard. I mean, Alex on Tucker, it's going to be heard by millions and millions and millions of people who don't even know what that is. And so that is more exposure in a big place. And it just means we're getting closer to winning, in my opinion. Paul Atkins is now in. I don't know if he's actually gotten to work yet, but he'll be in there soon. And hopefully we see a lot more good things coming from our SEC. But this was awesome. It was totally awesome. I saw that. Turning the frogs gay with what they're putting in the water. Right, Uncle Andy? I love it. Just Mike thought I was a Russian asset. No, see, I'm up to the highest bidder. So one show might be the CIA's check I'm cashing. Another show might be, the Russians. Another show I might be a Mossad check. It just depends on the subject. I got to keep cashing them checks. YouTube sure doesn't pay me enough. They keep cutting me off. If you guys saw the amount YouTube pays me for the amount of content I do, you would be just sick. It's disgusting. So I obviously don't do it for the pay, but also the members, you guys, and the donators, you guys make it so I can at least do it as much as I do. Otherwise my wife would kill me. She'd be like, "You're spending all those hours making nothing?" Like, it'd be a very expensive hobby if I was with my time, if I didn't have my members. So you guys are the best. Kick pays 95% of subs to streamer. Yeah, but does Kick have any audience members? All those other places, as bad as YouTube is, Twitch, I don't know about Kick, but there's a lot of other like streaming places that are smaller, like Twitch, and they are way more censoring than even YouTube is. It's terrible. Only Rumble is the one that's safe, and well, technically X too, but but Rumble's really hard to grow on. They don't get a lot of people looking for extra videos. People just go there to find their people, which there's a lot of famous people now in Rumble. They watch those shows, and then they watch conspiracy stuff. So I'm having a real hard time growing on Rumble, which, by the way, Rumble crowd, I didn't see you guys tonight. You're not showing up in the chats, and it's only showing one person watching. So sorry that for some reason the stream is just not showing. The studio is just not showing Rumble tonight. Sorry about that, Rumble. Doesn't mean I don't love you guys over there. And if you're watching on X, I can't see you. It's just comments. I don't get the chat on X. So, but ultimately, as long as YouTube doesn't ban me, we'll stay. Ultimately, though, I do want to build up on Rumble, eventually make that my main hub. And we'll figure it out. But thank you guys for for the suggestion, Andy. Jordan says, I lost a check from USAID, so got to collect wherever possible. Yeah, they cut off my USAID funds. That was my big backer right there. Freaking Trump and Elon. Dang it. And I'm trying to help them too. Comrade Ace has a nice ring to it. Comrade Ace. Would you like some vodka? Shifting this there. Alex Jones, Ham, and Tone Lock walk into a bar. Tell me if you've heard this one. No, but I want to. We'll get Adam Schiff. Don't worry. All right, guys. On that note, hey, it's the end of the week for me. I might be on tomorrow if we get some crazy news. Actually, before I go, let's look at see where futures are right now. Okay, so futures have really rebounded. They were down almost 400 earlier. This isn't too bad. So maybe the market comes back green tomorrow. Who knows? Oil is continuing to go down, which is honestly a good thing. It just makes everything else cheaper. The 10-year is still climbing. That's pretty crazy. We don't want this to get to 5. I mean, that's actually the thing Trump's most worried about right now is this bond rate getting to 5 and just creating interest rates for everybody. Because Trump's trying to do something miraculous. He's trying to get the markets to correct. So that helps inflation come down. He's trying to get oil down, but he's also trying to get this down, the bond, because A, they need to refinance our debt, and we don't want it high for that. And B, he's trying to get interest rates down so regular Americans can start getting liquidity again for investments. And it's fighting him right now because Japan and China are dumping a bunch of their treasuries, which is making it more expensive. So, and then gold is at all-time highs. So there you go. That's a flight to safety right there. Hey, New Royals, what's up, man? Hey, we got to get you on here. We got to have a reunion of the Bald Brothers. That's Sean in the chat. We got lots to talk about, buddy. Eric, we got to get you back on too. Eric says, if I could choose to be the best YouTube podcaster or get mad cow disease, which one I choose? I mean, I don't know. I heard with mad cow disease, you can have some pretty cool hallucinations. So, no, obviously, it's a dumb question. All right. On that note, thanks, Eric, for lowering the quality of tonight's stream. Anyways, love you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. I appreciate you. I really do. And please help me break the algorithm on YouTube that likes to suppress me because I talk about stuff that lefties in Google don't like. But anyways, thanks, Sean. I appreciate that. David asks, has Atkins been sworn in? Yes, he was sworn in last night, 7:00. He is officially the SEC chairman now. So, yeah, Alan, you're absolutely right about gold. You weren't a cheese cow. You guys are funny. I might be on tomorrow night. If not, I'm taking the weekend off, recovering, and then I'll be back on Sunday night. But anyways, let's say a prayer and get out of here, because obviously a lot of prayers needed in our nation right now. So don't forget to pray for our leaders. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless this chat. Thank you so much for this amazing community you've built, Lord, and I get to be a part of. So I'm so grateful for them. I pray, Lord, for wisdom and strength for our leaders and protection as well as they navigate these insane times we're in this. And I just pray that Trump and his team have the wisdom to navigate our economy to the best possible place for regular Americans, even if temporary pain has to happen. I just pray that we get out of this and say, it's amazing what they pulled off, that everything's so much better. So I pray for that, Lord. And just pray for wisdom for everybody here in navigating their own financial situations, and everything else as well. Pray for Thomas, God, you'd heal his body, and anybody else in the chat needs healing, God, we bless them. And just again, bless this group in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Love you guys. You guys are the best. Yeah, Gensler is now free to play Mr. Burns in the Simpsons movie. I love it, Brett. All right. Like, subscribe. Appreciate you guys. And, see y'all soon. Take care and follow me on X if you want to keep up with me if I'm not live here. All right. Have a great night. Take care, guys. Good night.